Blessings, everybody, on this powerful 888. How is everyone doing? How are you feeling? How are you navigating these times? They're intense. There's so much happening. And on one level, it seems chaotic, like we're going backwards, like, things aren't getting better. But if we feel a lot deeper under that current, we find places of quiet to be in where we can truly hear the real energies. We know that we are going through a massive overhaul, basically, right? We are changing everything we know to be true about ourselves, the human physical body and experience, the world around us, our structures. Everything is changing. So we're just going through a deep overhaul, is I guess the way to say that, right? A huge shift in consciousness and evolution. It's never been done before like this. But if we listen underneath, we know that it's actually it's going well, so to speak. It's doing what it's supposed to do. On the outside, it just looks, it's sort of the remnants of this deep layers that we are clearing through and rearranging, rebuilding, restructuring into the new. So I just know that we're there already, and we just are figuring out the details now, basically. But it can be challenging if you're, not seeing the bigger picture of it, and especially the physical experience of it, as our bodies are physically changing at this, the deep cellular level, changing DNA, changing structures, changing organs. All our systems are changing. So we are going through it, but we're all going through it together, and it is happening for us, not against us. It's happening with us because we're choosing for this to happen. There's enough of the masses who have chosen this. So it's actually a choice we're making. You may not be quite aware of it in the subconscious, but it is a choice that we have decided to be here at this time, to be part of this, to be involved in this, to share in this, to share our gifts in this, to help in this, all of it, to reflect, or just to experience it. What is it like? It's never been done before, so it's all new for everybody. I just did a live today on addictions after some technical issues, so thanks for those who stuck around. And I did it because in my awareness and my observation and the levels that I connect in, it is really the one thing that's holding us back still. We're turning to our addictions to help us cope with these times. And one can understand why that is, right? A lot of people are starting to have to look at their trauma that's been very deeply buried, not being able to handle that before. And it's all coming up, whether we like it or not. It's like surfacing, bubbling to the surface for us to be like, da-da, here it is. Got to look at this so we can heal it, and we want to clear it and move it out of the physical experience so that we can bring in all this brand new, bright, incredible energy that is actually wanting to be present in your body's experience, right? But it's a tough one. There's so many different addictions that are just so widespread all over the world. A little bit holding us back from taking that final step of true ownership, of full ownership, self-responsibility for all the choices we are making. We are not victims in this. We have control in this to a degree, and we have choices that we can make, and we can make different choices every moment. We can choose to do that. We just have to remember we can do that. And, at the end of the day, we want to have to do that. And we're being given a lot of opportunities to do that, right? To really look, oh my gosh, do these patterns really help me? Do these behaviors, what are they getting me? I've been doing this for years and years and years and years, the same thing, numbing out with this, that, and the other thing. What has it done for me? It's really created way more suffering than it has anything else. So is this really the path you want to continue on when there's so many other options available for you now that maybe there weren't before, but now there are? And so we have to really look at that, the heart of addiction. And the transmission was really geared towards that the level of numbing out that happens, that has become very normalized. And this is what I really want to talk about. We have gotten to be a society that normalizes all of our substance intake. And I'm not here to shame it, because that's not what we want to do, right? We want to own it, see it, love it, heal it, bring light to it, and make a different choice, because you're worth it. Your body's worth it. Your life is worth it. And there's so much available to you, and you have so much to share with the world as well. Your gifts are important. So this numbing out effect that's happening is just, it's like become the norm. It's become very accepted, especially things like marijuana and vaping and smoking. It's, become legal in so many places. And I think that was a real disservice that occurred for humanity, because again, it's just become normalized. It's in our everyday experience. Now we go anywhere and we smell it, and we're exposed to it wherever we go. And, really impinges on other people's experience and their choices for health. And so in that way, it's harming not just yourself, but those around you. And especially even kids who don't really necessarily have a choice in where they're going. And to impinge that on them is also a little bit heartbreaking for me to watch. But the point of it being normalized is something I think we have to address, because you start to grow up with it, and that's just like, oh, everyone's doing it, it's normal, it's accepted, it's okay. And the truth is, especially marijuana, where people think it's, it's medicinal, it's this, it's that, and that's really a lot of bogus. It's really bullshit. And so I want you to look at that. I want us to look at that and talk about that. It really creates a lot of dross in your energy field, a lot of clutter. It creates a lack of presence and escapism, a lack of being embodied. It creates an inability for true connection. And it keeps you separated from your true self. It's separated from your real gifts and from showing up in the world, that responsibility of showing up in the world with all that you are. And, when we're doing that all the time outdoors, and the kids are seeing it, the young adults it's always around. So it's just become enmeshed and part of the experience. So it feels normal. It feels like, oh, that's okay. But truly, you're doing a great disservice to your body and to your health and to your environment and to your own healing process. There's an apathy that happens, and it keeps you stuck in a cycle. And I just feel like I would like to shed more light on that normalization process that happens with all this stuff. And it's done quite purposefully. It's very smart, in fact, to keep you disempowered and to keep you separate from like your true oneness, and also to keep you in the control of others. What all these substances do is they take you out of control of your own life, and they put them in the hands of others that basically use you like a little doll. What are those things called? Rag doll? I don't know what they're called. I forget. So that you end up not really being your true self, but also just going through the motions, not really taking responsibility, not taking control and ownership for your life, and not really feeling empowered in yourself, because it keeps you quite asleep and in a daze, I would say, while damaging your body. And I bring this up not in the light of shaming, but in the light of awareness and wanting you to be aware of what it does to the field. And I talked about this in my transmission today, that it does create holes in your field. It's the easiest way for other energies to access you, any substance use and abuse, specifically and very particularly alcohol, just attracts other energies into your field, and you give them basically like a yellow card to go ahead and do whatever they want, and they play a lot of havoc in the field. So it is expressed as anger often, and depression, suicidal thoughts, and just aggression, irritation, and you making choices that you might not have made otherwise, and also feeling very much not like yourself. So taking you out of control and playing havoc with your life. And some of it is, and I've seen that, ends up being very lethal and deadly, and it's heartbreaking. Especially when underneath that is someone who's so sensitive and so gifted and got so much light and beauty, because that's what you are. So I share this out of a space of wanting to open the discussion and the awareness around it, and also because it's really holding us back quite a bit. It's holding you from what you truly want if you really dig deep inside of you, and you are capable of it, and there is support for you, and you're worth it. So just think about that, because it's up to you. Only you can say no, and only you can make different choices, and it's up to you to take that 100% complete, full self-responsibility if you want a different way of life. So much support around you. I'm here to support. If anybody feels called, reach to me. The work I do really breaks through a lot of those veils, and really works on that cellular DNA level, creating permanent long-term pattern changes. So just sending much love, and just wishing for more awareness for all of us, awareness of our surroundings too, and that we are more than just ourselves. We're everything. We're all as one. So what you're doing to yourself affects those around you, and especially if you're actually doing something that impinges on other people too. So this idea of unity and thinking of others, and how we affect each other. All right, thanks for listening. Have a beautiful day. Do something loving for yourself, something life affirming, because you're worth it.